Hi, welcome. I thought I'd give an introduction today. My name is Sarah Tomlinson, and I wanted to give an introduction to the Siri Jyoti. So, the Siri Jyoti is a ritual, and I often show these time-lapse videos on my channel, on my Instagram page, and people are always asking me, what's going on? So, I thought today I would tell you a little bit about the ritual. Where to begin? I first learned the ritual when I was in India at Devipuram. Devipuram is in the south of India, in Vizag, up in the villages, and it was founded by Sri Amritananda Saraswati, who is my Sri Guru, Sri teacher, and he called this ritual the wealth of God. Siri Jyoti, wealth of God, the light of God. So he encouraged everybody to practice this. It's a communal ritual, right? So sometimes we do our own personal practices, drawing yantras, reciting mantras, and it's nice to come together to do a ritual together. And he always talked about the amplified effects and benefits of doing a ritual together. So when many people are coming to work on this Sri Yantra, it's the famous Sri Yantra, on the ground, offering the flowers and their intention and their devotion into creating it, then all that energy is going in. So whatever intention you might have for the ritual, it gets amplified. So say you were desiring more peace in your heart and you did this ritual, times your own peace in your own heart by 20 to 100 people who are taking part of the ritual, you're going to have an abundant experience of peace at the end of it. So whatever your intention is, the idea is, and he spoke about this a lot, that your intention will be multiplied by the efforts of the group. So it's a really beautiful group practice. So it's based on the Sri Yantra, and what you're actually doing is filling in the circuits of the yantra. I have another video called the 9 circuits of the Sri Yantra. I'll put that in the show notes so you can see all about that. You'll get to see what all the circuits mean. In essence, the yantra is a mirror of yourself. So you're actually creating this thing outside of yourself to see the beauty of yourself when you're whole and complete and feeling at one. And then that's mirrored back to you. So it's kind of like a stepping back to see yourself clearly in your perfection. And then once you do that, so you create the yantra. It's done through a process of drawing. Then there's a period of chanting when you start to color the yantra. So the colors can be colored pigment. It can also be flowers. It can also be, sometimes we've done yantras where we fill the triangles and the different shapes with things that are local. So once we did a Siri Jyoti at the beach and we filled areas with shells, and hibiscus flowers was one we did in Mexico. And let's see, what was the last one? The last one I did had black sesame seeds and white rice. So it depends on the people who are working on the yantra, if they have any intentions, if there's any local resources they want to bring to it, it kind of resonates then with the people. It's a very site-specific artwork, if you like. And then once you put all that love into it and very carefully and very much meditation together, decorated the yantra, sometimes at this point the Lalita Sahasranam is chanted. Sometimes we'll chant one line from that, which is Om Sri Matre Namah. Sometimes a little bit longer, and then it will be Aim Hrim Shrim Om Sri Matre Namah. Aim Hrim Shrim Om Sri Matre Namah. So I mention this because in the time-lapse videos, you don't have the audio. So oftentimes while we're decorating the yantra, some chanting like that is going on. And then there's a period of putting candles in a circle around the outer petals. This is called the ring of fire, circle of fire. And then there's the gates also with the petals. And then everybody will sit down around the edge of the yantra. Right? This is when the official circle ritual begins. And we'll share incense sticks that are lit up. And we'll all light candles. And maybe then we'll give our intention or some wish, something we would like to be multiplied by the wealth of this yantra into the circle. So by then the circle of candles is lit, and there may be an uplifting talk that happens at that point. Everyone's sitting in a circle in meditation. And then we'll do some chanting. So there's one chant we'll do to Tripura Sundari. She's a goddess that lives at the center of the yantra. And oftentimes we'll do the Panchadasi mantra. Sometimes we'll do that as a group 108 times. It goes like this. Kaye ilarim, hastaka halarim, sakalarim. It's one time. It's 15 syllables. So that can be very hypnotic if it's done 108 times by the group, creates a powerful feeling. It's also the place of oneness within the yantra because it represents the mantra that ripples through the yantra and resides, the potent energy of that goddess resides at the central dot. Then oftentimes there'll be a period of meditation, and if I'm doing the ritual, I might then chant the Khatgamala. So the Khatgamala is a mala group. Mala is like a string, right? Like mala beads. A string of swords for protection. And this Khatgamala is actually the names strung together of all of the deities that reside within the Sri Yantra. There's another video, which again I'll put in the show notes, of Venushama singing, chanting the Khatgamala. So if you'd like to learn that or learn more about it, then you'll feel the chant that goes along with this ritual. So in the Khatgamala, we're reciting the names of the deities from the outside in. So with the deities at the edge, the square, then the deities in the circle, then the rings of triangles until we get to the center. And then once we have arrived at the center, there's a light. There's always a candle light in the center of the Sri Yantra during the Siri Jyoti. Sometimes there's a period of dancing where we'll dance around the yantra a few times. And then there's a puja. So there's a final ritual where we'll sit down and then somebody will offer things to the goddess in the form of this yantra. So there'll be lights, there'll be incense, there'll be food, there'll be water, right? There'll be another kind of light. So these things will all be offered to the yantra, flowers. And then at the end, it all comes back. There's a period of receiving when all that energy comes back to you. And so you receive the light, maybe you take some of the prasad. So then you're nourished with that multiplication of energy that just went into the Sri Yantra. So one thing that Sri Amritananda said when he was teaching this ritual to us was that he wanted to make it accessible. And it's not always accessible to learn all of the Sanskrit for all of the rituals that maybe a pujari does. But this is actually a very simple form of the more elaborate 9-hour or at least 3-hour ritual that is done for this yantra. So he wanted to make this a more simple, a more essential ritual that everybody could partake in so that everybody could feel some of the magic of this amazing yantra and step back into their majesty. So he believed it was everybody's birthright to reclaim their power, to feel they have autonomy, right? So really, he was empowering everybody who came to him with these practices. He wasn't going to keep them up on a shelf and make them hard to realize. So one of the other practices that he taught us was this daily Shri. So this is a very nice practice for drawing the Shri Yantra, and you can do any of the chants that I've just mentioned while you're drawing it. I have many videos about making your daily Shri Yantra, and actually that is the basis for the Siri Jyoti. The yantra that we're drawing, when we draw the very simple line drawing, is exactly what is going to be mapped out on the floor at the beginning of the Siri Jyoti. So the wealth of God. So I hope this helps. I hope it gives you a little more sense of what happens during this ritual. Sometimes we do it when people move into a house. It's a way to clear the energy and to align the energy with your greatness. Sometimes we do it special days, like full moon, holidays. Sometimes we do it before a wedding, but really you can do it anytime that you want to remember your greatness and love and wealth and light. And it's a beautiful thing to come and do with other people, again, just to kind of surrender your small self into some larger purpose, remembering really why you're here, why we're here. I really love to do it each time because depending on the people that come, you know, and the ingredients they bring and the energies that they bring and the locations we do it in, it'll have a slightly different effect. So you never really know how it's going to go. So that's part of the magic of the ritual. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. Now I'm going to play the time-lapse video from the last Siri Jyoti we did here in England. Right now we're in England, in Devon, and this one was at the Forge. The Forge Yoga Center is in Totnes. And Gretchen Faust runs the yoga center, and she was celebrating 22 years of having this yoga center. So as a kind of clearing and preparing for the next 22 years, we decided to do this ritual and we filmed it. So now you have it, and you can check out some of the other links for the audio for the mantras that were chanted during the session. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. And please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to learn more about yantras, how they're used. If you have any questions, please write to me. You can comment on this video and let me know. Always happy to share the origin of some of these teachings, or if you would like some videos made on certain topics. I like to teach, share, empower you to work with yantras. So thank you for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys soon.